You don't have to dance, you don't have to follow trends, and no, it's definitely not just kids. And this video is all about why your business needs to be on TikTok and how to do it well and make money. Video is not a trend, and neither is TikTok. In fact, I'm seeing a lot of parallels going on of what YouTube was 10, 11 years ago. And you're clearly here on YouTube, so yeah, you know where that journey goes. So if you're still not totally convinced, let me give you a couple of other facts that might tickle your fancy. For example, I mentioned how it's not just kids on TikTok. Well, here's the thing. At this point, about 70% of the platform is over the age of 20, and about 30% of the platform is over the age of 30. And in fact, that over 30 group is the fastest growing age demographic on the platform. If you're a data person, I got some more for you. How about the fact that TikTok has now exceeded the watch time of both Facebook and YouTube? And if you like research, Nielsen recently conducted a study in which they were able to determine that people actually feel better about themselves after spending long lengths of time on the platform, in contrast to other platforms that make them feel worse. And Facebook recently revealed that people in general are more than likely to trust videos that are made from, say, a mobile platform like a phone versus something that is well produced by a whole team. Not only do you not need a whole production team, but the barrier for entry, super low, especially when you take into consideration that the whole default feed on TikTok, known as the For You feed, pretty much guarantees that your content will get in front of people who don't follow you and in a very targeted way, which basically means that your ad budget for TikTok can be extremely low or actually, ideally, non-existent. So if you're one of those people who was like me back in the YouTube days who thought that TikTok was beneath you or seemingly unprofessional, think again. This actually might be the best way to connect in a trustworthy and authentic way with your people. And remember, these are videos that are meant to be created and definitely consumed from your phone with a maximum time of 3 minutes. And in fact, ideally less than 1 or even 30 seconds. And the built-in features on TikTok will make it as easy as possible for you to actually film and edit those videos using only your phone. Do I have you convinced yet? Because let's jump into some of those features. I'm gonna give you 5 really easy ways to start showing up on TikTok. Number 1, you might not like it, but you have to show your face. You might think, who am I to be on camera, or I'm not an influencer? The reality is that you as the face of the brand could end up being the most powerful influencer ahead of any celebrity for your business. This also is what helps to establish some familiarity with you and a connection, because let's just say that you own a restaurant. There are plenty of food profiles on TikTok or Instagram for that matter, and you really can't tell one spaghetti video from another. The difference is going to be your face, your voice, your smile, your perspective, your stories. You would be missing out on that opportunity if every single time you're showing a different face. I have a client who, for example, is a real estate agent. She found that her house tours without her were getting a lot of views, but the ones with her in them that she used to think were flops, she found that those were the videos that got her the most leads and quality clients versus just the virality that came with the views. And let's just be real. With everything that we've gone through over the last few years, people have been craving human connection long before social distancing was the way of our world. So let's find a way to translate that real inhuman experience on camera and not be afraid of it. Are you getting excited? Make sure you hit that like button if you're planning on getting on TikTok. Number 2, collaborations. If you look at the biggest YouTubers over the last decade or so, a lot of them grew, especially when they were doing collaborations, or maybe you've heard the word tag, because they were going back and forth with another creator, ultimately inserting themselves in with their audience. But the beautiful thing about TikTok is they have made it possible for you to collaborate without you even needing permission from the other creator by using features called Duet and Stitch. A duet is when you see a split screen, horizontal or vertical. It could be you making expressions in reaction to a video. You can even insert your voice and your perspective into it. For example, Gordon Ramsay loves to do reaction videos when people recreate his recipes. Or it could be you actually recreating the exact same thing side by side with that person. The stitch is when you take a few seconds from someone else's video and then add your own spin to finish it. I have a friend who creates recipes. I don't do food or anything of the likes. Typically, she starts the videos with, have you ever made a fill in the blank? And then from there, I'll stitch into me, where I'll go, no, but I have done, and then I'll lead into my video. Our niches are totally different. Her audience is still really similar to mine. So even though what I'm doing is different, that doesn't mean that we can't cross promote on each other's platform. Here's actually where I want to talk about one of the mistakes that people make. Your video going viral to the wrong audience could actually end up being worse off for you, because then TikTok will start to be signaled into thinking, oh, this is content that is made for 13 to 17-year-olds, when you might actually want to attract more of the above 30 crowd. So how do you find more of those people who you should collaborate with? Well, definitely spend some time consuming the platform, because TikTok is all about community. But if you are brand spanking new and you're not sure where to start, then what you could potentially do is search by hashtag in relation to anything that you think would be relevant to what it is that you're trying to do and who it is that you're trying to reach. Millennials or the Gen X, maybe you want to find more moms of TikTok. You could search by city or search by state with hashtags, which takes me to number 3, going live. Now, on the surface, this might make you sweat, but if you do it right, this is actually something that doesn't take a lot of time. And the beautiful thing is that no editing is required. And if you hate it, you can always delete it and pretend like it never happened right afterwards. You can go live by yourself, or you can do a dual live. Now, there are a couple of ways that you can do this. One is an intentional dual live. You happen to have a partner who you absolutely know, and you have their contact information, and you can say, all right, let's go live together, with the hopes that you're getting each other's audiences to get familiar with you. But then there is also a fun little feature that basically allows for you to go dual live at random. And yeah, there is a little bit of risk associated with that, but it can also lead to some really fun conversations with people who you don't even know. And in some cases, you actually might find yourself going live at random with someone who has hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers, who are now being exposed to you and your brand. Always go live with some type of an intention though, a tutorial, answering questions, in which case I would potentially stage a couple of questions ahead of time that you're planning on answering. Maybe you have some employees who you're planting in the audience to ask you some questions. The other thing that you potentially could do is you could attach a charitable partner to it. Show some of your company's values, and you could actually allow for people to make contributions for that charitable cause during or even long after that live. Number 4, if you're still not quite ready to make some of your own videos, then let me tell you, the community absolutely can happen in the comments. In fact, there are some businesses and organizations, they have people, it is their whole job just to be leaving comments on videos, because comments can actually go viral and be the best first impression. It is unlike any other platform. So similar how you could use my strategy of the stitches and the duets to source out other influencers in and around your particular niche, you could do the same thing. Just go leave some comments. Maybe you get a little cheeky. Maybe you ask some questions, create those relationships without ever having to go on camera. Number 5, you could actually hire someone else to be the face of your business. Consistency is key here. We want to get familiar. We want to see that face over and over and over again. You could also go ahead and eliminate that learning curve by finding someone who already knows the platform and is doing really well. You could potentially hire them out to essentially be a fractional face of your business, and you could then go ahead and upload their content to your profile or simultaneously on both profiles. But word of the wise, TikTok actually recently came out and said that if you do post the exact same video to the TikTok feed more than once, it will not be shared to the For You page. You don't want to change things slightly or save the file under a different name so that you don't run into that issue. What's keeping you off the platform? What questions do you have? Comment below, we got you. And by the way, if you want to learn more about working with influencers and creators, we actually have a whole playlist just for you, giving you the step-by-step of how to find those humans and the best way to be able to engage, interact, and work with them for the long term.